So we just saw the movie Lucy 2 days ago. It's a really good movie.
It's probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it depends on what perspective you look at it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as terms like a movie, the acting and direction, like if you look at it as a film, it's not that good, but I like the concept behind it. So when I watch a movie, I look for three things: how it was made, how well it was made, and the story and the concept behind it. They're kind of separate, but it could be related. Like if you watch all the reviews online, people talking about the movie, a lot of YouTubers review that movie, but they don't really talk about. They're talking about the movie how it was made. They don't really talk about the philosophy behind it or the sort of concept. But I think the concept in this movie is really strong. Even though the way they express it might not be like this, the action kind of some of it's kind of cheesy and stuff. So a lot of complaints about it. But what do you like about the concept?
I think the scene that got me thinking the most was the last scene where Lucy was basically eating up all the computers for energy, and then she basically was going to give one supercomputer to the rest of the world to tell them about all the knowledge that she had acquired. And it kind of made me think about the way that like we look at life and we like devour information and then look at art and
yeah, we're always reading, always looking at movies, always trying to like mind bog.
Yeah, basically we're just like eating devouring shit.
Yeah, the feeling is actually it's the same. It's very primal. I like in the movie how they talk about how you still are primal. They show a lot of scenes from the animal scene that even though Lucy is like completely like super conscious, is still pretty primal. She's like fucking up people with it, just eating at computers. A lot of times, like if you look at people like Beethoven, they're very primal, even they're very high conscious, but at the same time, it's like consciousness is always like, it's like it engulfs both sides of the extreme. Like so Beethoven is like extremely high-minded, but at the same time he's very primal, he's always angry, like a lot of arts are very sexual. So like I like how they went into that, how like Lucy, she eats up information like an animal. Like the first thing she did when she got like smarter in the brain, more power, is she started like eating food. Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, killing beta. So the energy to work out and the energy to create, to eat, it's like the same.
Yeah, actually, I think intelligent creativity. You know that feeling that we talked about last time of flow state. Like that feeling is actually pretty primal too.
Yeah.
Even when you're editing and when I'm making music, it's almost like something takes over.
Yeah. But the last thing, if you didn't watch the movie, spoilers, but whatever. The last thing, basically, she wasn't a person anymore. She was in all the computer. The last thing, spoilers are for like 20 seconds.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, she basically the last thing she wasn't there anymore. But then the betas were like, where are you? And then she popped into computers, different screens. It's like I'm everywhere. So that basically that movie, that ending just like it makes a pretty big statement about the nature of consciousness. How like once you become super conscious,
I think your physical body.
It's like the problem. It's like the problem with the Indians, the Hindus.
Can I ask you a question though? So, let's just say for a second, like, if Lucy, because of knowledge, because of all her understanding, she was willing to just become immaterial and be everywhere. If all human beings were meant to finally end up as one collective instead of all these individuals running around like doing their own stupid shit, but if we all came together as one collective, but that means that we don't have individuality. Would you want that?
I think after we get to that point, it wouldn't matter if we do or not, because you are that one movement. You are everything. So you're still individualized. You're still an individual, but at the same time, you're the whole thing. So once you get to that point, there is no distinction between being an individual and being a collective. Right now, there's a struggle between being conformed to like a collective and an individual, because there's still a distinction between the two. Once you get to the Brahman point, when everything is one, you are the whole universe. You are consciously engulfs the whole universe. Then there's no distinction. So there, And I like how in the movie it's a hyperbole for the world today actually. Like when we talk about like Lucy at the end, she's like everywhere. I feel like I make YouTube videos, right? I feel like the more subscribers I have, the more places I am. The more people watch my videos, you can watch my videos wherever you are. I'm there. You're watching this video like on a train or at home. I'm basically everywhere. But people like 20 years ago, they couldn't do that. Yeah, they couldn't just express a thought on Twitter, and you are literally everywhere when you have a thought on Twitter. You don't even have a picture of you sometimes. Yeah, but your consciousness is there.
Yeah. And you don't even have to be there. You could post a picture of you like 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly too. Yeah,
like,
some of my videos are from like 2 years ago. People think it's now. So what we want to get to the most important point is the manipulation of information. I think that movie is about how Lucy can, as the most highest intelligent being, what she's good at is just manipulating information, because the whole universe is information. Consciousness is information. The movie made it pretty clear how consciousness is information universe, all just information. And if you can control and manipulate information, then you're God.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Especially nowadays, like the digital age. Like if you know how to create a digital persona, dude. Like if you're just a hot girl or you know how to take hot pictures, you made it. You know, like you can make it if you know how to play the cards.
Yeah, Z's created a digital persona.
Yeah.
He's manipulating information, and we're doing the same with our like YouTube and music. Like even just literally the way we work on art and music. Yeah. When I film something in reality, I don't just upload the raw clip, right? I manipulate it. Yeah. I create a different reality. Yeah, I mold a different reality, right? And then for Josh, he makes music and he samples stuff, and he sort of like describe your process of
it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, right? Music is information, and videos are information, and we're manipulating life and to feed you guys some information.
We're sampling real life to create something.
That's what Lucy does, kind of. That's what.
Yeah, I think that's the end too. She sampled all of life and then gave a gift to them.
And even just people that don't even make music. If you look at how.
Do you think everything is sampling? Yeah. Like. Basically, everything is borrowing one idea and then transferring it to another medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, pretty much. Just information transferring. Yeah. But if you look at it, we don't even have to talk about artists. We're talking about people like normal people that just use iPhones. Yeah. They are manipulating information. If you look at the way we operate iPhones, like give me your iPhone.
Oh, like you send a message.
Yeah, give me your iPhone. Even the shit that you do, like you do this, all that stuff. It's like you're manipulating information. You stand it out and you make it bigger. That's what Lucy was doing, and she was like looking into the world, and she freezes the world, whatever. She was like doing this. That's how she saw it in her mind, and she was like doing this to people's heads and like getting this word from his mind out of the way. And then that's what we do. If we go on text messages, we do that. If I talk to a friend and I want to see what we talked about 5 years ago,
that's not valuable.
Yeah, but in Lucy, what made her a hero in that movie is that she was willing to pass on information, and even the professor, who played by Morgan Freeman, he was making it clear to her that you must pass on this knowledge. I think passing on of information is in a sense of immortality.
Yeah, as long as you last, like Beethoven.
Yeah. But even if our stuff will last, maybe people won't look at it, but it's still gonna be on the cyberspace. But in a way, how immortal you are depends on how many minds
people
perceive you. How many people picks it up like 25 years later or after we die, right? Yeah. That's how we determine whether you're immortal or not, right? So basically, that in the movie, he says, either you reproduce biologically, you have sex, you pass on your genes, or you pass on information. And I feel like a lot of people today are pass on information instead of reproducing, which I think it's an interesting sign.
So.
You gotta pass on something.
Oh shit, I just had a crazy idea.
Let me finish it. You gotta pass on something, right? People back in the days, they don't have the information to pass on, they pass on the gene. Genes is information too, if you think about it, right? DNA is information. But nowadays, we pass on information in the minds instead of just like offspring. So what are you gonna say?
So, if everybody believes like a story in history about somebody, like let's just say everybody believes in Jesus, right? But he's not actually real. But since everybody collectively believes that he existed, does it make him real? Basically? Or no?